Hey there, my name is Wendy with Love and Stampin'. I am excited that you're here with me today because we have another fun color combination, but this time we're using all brand new in colors. So we're not using all 5. You are gonna see Evening Evergreen is missing from the mix because we used it last Saturday, but this week I'm using 4 of the in colors and I think you're going to love them. I'm sure you've already seen them. Most people have. In fact, I featured them throughout the week in different places and in my catalog launch stuff, but I just can't get enough of them. I love the colors. So I thought we would use them today in the card. The fun thing about today's card is that it's kind of got, I called it a peekaboo card, but I technically don't think that's what it is. You tell me in the comments below what kind of card this would be called. I was thinking like maybe a partial die cut card, a sneak peek card, I don't know. But at any rate, it's beautiful. It turned out great and I'm going to show you how to make it. I also use the Stamparatus tool in this video. This tool is an amazing tool for doing these kinds of techniques where you're layering different colors and adding a bunch of different ink and colors to an image. So if you don't already have a Stamparatus tool and you need one, there is a link below the video. The Stamparatus tool is just a stamp positioning tool. So basically it allows you to restamp in the same area. There's lots of other stamp positioning tools on the market, but I personally really love Stampin' Up's because it has like 2 open edges. So if you want to lay a card out, there's no edge that prevents that. And I also like it because it comes with 2 plates. So you're actually able to mount stamps on 4 sides of the plate and stamp with all the stamps without having to do anything except lift the plates out of the hinge, flip them around, put them back in, and stamp again. So you'll see the tool today that I use in the video. If you have any questions for me, always drop them in the comments or you can shoot me an email. And the links for all the supplies that I use today are listed below the video. Don't forget, I have a host code right now that if you place a $100 order before shipping and tax, you can choose a $20 stamp set for free from me. So if you want to get in on that offer, just place your $100 order, use the host code, and then you can send me an email with your selection. However, if your order is over $150, please don't use the host code. You'll still get the free stamp set from me, but you will get Stampin' Rewards directly from Stampin' Up on your actual order when you place your order. So you just don't want to use the host code if your order is high enough to earn Stampin' Rewards. Thanks so much for hanging out with me for a little bit. Let's go to my stamp table. All right, so the colors we're using today are Pale Papaya, Soft Succulent, Polished Pink, and Fresh Freesia. I'm using the hand-penned bundle. This is brand new from the new catalog. And all of these dies cut out the different shapes. And so you're gonna laugh at me here because I'm like, why isn't this lining up? And then I realized the images on the front of the packaging are smaller than the real images. So I kept trying to line them up and they wouldn't line up. And I was like, what is wrong with me? Okay, this is another thing I wanted to show you. This is Stampin' Up's new way of printing their photopolymer stamps. They're actually including the printout on the inside of the box. So the cool thing about this is that you can then take all of your stamps off of your sheet, add them into the box, and you can see them right there when you open up, and then you're not having to fiddle with this little protective stuff. And afterwards you can save the adhesive, excuse me, not the adhesive, the acetate sheet that came in it, and you can use that for like shaker cards and stuff. So anyway, that's just something I wanted to show you. And then this die set is really cute. It cuts out the shapes. It's got some flowers. And see, I realized here, okay, these are smaller, and I recognized, so on the inside, they're larger. When you actually stamp them, they line up perfectly. All right, so we're gonna get into making the card. I'm starting out with a 4¼ by 11" piece of cardstock in basic white, and I'm going to use that border die to cut off a bottom piece of this cardstock. So I wanted to do this because I wanted to kind of have this just fun effect with this card where you lift it up and the sentiment is there. It's actually stamped on the inside. So the sentiment that I end up using for this card is perfect. It fits perfectly. So depending on the size of your sentiment would depend on how much you want to cut off. So you kind of have to, let me see how I want to say this. You kind of have to like measure the sentiment, the height of the sentiment to see what you're going to need left, you know, what kind of space you're going to need at the bottom. So I wouldn't recommend a super humongous sentiment for this because you don't want to cut half of your card front off, if that makes sense. So here I'm just cutting a piece of black cardstock down to 4¼ inches wide. It really didn't matter how tall it was because well, it does matter because you want it to fit on the inside of the card. But my point here is that I wanted to show this little like border underneath. So you could just cut a little strip of cardstock and add it here, but I wanted a fuller piece so that it would go all the way up to the top, which just kind of gives the card a little bit more stability. And so then I'm just layering it onto the inside. Okay, FYI, if you hear like stuff running or cars driving by or anything like that, it's because I have my windows and doors in my office open while I'm doing this voiceover, and I figured you wouldn't mind at all if you heard some of that in the background. The weather is so incredible and perfect that I could not help myself but to have doors and windows open in my office and just have it air out. So then after I got this portion finished, I wanted to stamp my sentiment, and then we're gonna stamp the flowers and use the Stamparatus. So I'm excited to show you that and how that works. Okay, story time. What has been going on in our life? Well, truthfully, there's not been any significant crazy stuff going on. The launch of the new catalog, of course, is always very exciting for me. And I spend several days in a row kind of like staying up late and getting things dealt with and helping customers and helping team members and stuff like that. So I'm kind of at the end of that cycle, and I'm now getting to just enjoy some of the new products. I did do my first YouTube live, as you guys saw. Some of you probably saw it live, some may have watched the replay, but I did do my first YouTube live. I think it went okay. It wasn't perfect by any means, and I definitely have plans to make it better. But yeah, I thought, heck, what the heck. So in June, I plan to start doing YouTube lives on a regular basis. Okay, here I really want to show you the importance of using a stamp positioning tool like the Stamparatus. In order to get all of these lined up really well and stamped, I use the Stamparatus tool because I can stamp over and over and over. So when you're using a set amount of inks, like in this case I'm using 4 ink colors, then that means that I am able to stamp multiple times and get a different color, if that makes sense. So what I'm saying is, here we go, we're going to pick this up. I'll show you right here what I'm going to do. I'm going to stamp this. Oh, sorry, it's not this one. It's another one I'm going to do. I stamped that one in polished pink. This one is going to be, I think this is the pale papaya. But basically, when you have like limited resources, right? So say you only have 5 or 6 colors of ink. A great tip that I've learned over the years is you can stamp the same image multiple times with the same color, and it's just going to get it darker and darker and darker. And vice versa on that, you can stamp off on an image and get a lighter color. So here I'm going to stamp my fresh freesia multiple times so that it gives me a darker purple color than the flower next to it. So as you can see, I did it 3 times and it's just getting darker and darker. Now this stamp set, and I want to just put the disclaimer out, it doesn't line up perfectly. It's not intended to. So you're not going to have this like perfectly filled in image when you stamp your colors, and that's okay. Like I said, you're not supposed to. It is literally just basically, oh, here's the other one I want to show you. So I'm taking my little sponge dauber, dipped it in polished pink, and went around the outside edges of that pale papaya, and then I got those kind of two-tone flowers. You could do this with all of the flowers if you wanted to, but I chose to just do it with those there I just stamped. So another great fun thing to use the stamp positioning tool for is you just have lots of opportunity for adding color and stuff like that. Okay. On the leaves, I wanted dark and light leaves, but I'm only using soft succulent. So what I did is I inked them up, stamped them, and then I moved this next one into position where I wanted it to be, both of them actually, and stamped them again. And this time they were stamped off in a lighter color. So they'd already been stamped the one time, you see here. I stamped them again, basically. Now, it is very light, so it's hard for you to see in the video, but in person, there's just this beautiful soft green color for the second leaf. And I just felt like that gave it some really beautiful variation, and I thought it was a lot of fun to stamp this way, to do this technique. Okay. So moving back to story time for just a second while I finish stamping, and then we're going to die cut and assemble the card. Yeah, so the other thing that's been going on is my husband has been working a lot of extra hours recently, working lots of overtime, weekends, things like that. I've shared before that we are getting ready to do a remodel. We've never done any sort of professional work on our house, meaning anything we've done pretty much has been like we've done it ourselves and with the help of friends or other people. We've never really hired a company for anything, but for this particular project, we've decided to hire a company, which made us super nervous, but also super excited. And my husband is very excited that he is not going to be the one to have to do all of the work. My husband's a really handy guy. He's very good at building things, and he built the office I'm in with his friend Bill. He built the wraparound deck around our porch or our house, which is really beautiful. So he's very, very capable of doing things like that. But he's getting older. Time is basically, time is important to us at this point in our lives. You know, the older we get, the more it's like when we have downtime, we'd like to spend it together. So all of that is to say that we made the decision to hire this company to do this remodel, and they've been excellent. They've been amazing. In the design process and everything. We've had one bathroom since we've lived in this house, which I'm not complaining. Like, thank God we have a house, and thank God that we have a bathroom. So I'm not complaining. However, at the same time, the luxury of 2 bathrooms is something we really, really would love to have. So we finally have saved enough money to be able to do this, and it has been difficult and hard, and we are really, really excited. So that's going to start the first week of June, which brings me to the next thing, is that we actually purchased a camper. It's used and it's in great shape. It's not been used very much. And so we purchased a camper, and we are going to be utilizing the bathroom in the camper while this remodel is taking place, because we will have no bathroom and no shower for 6 weeks. So that's going to be interesting. Yeah. So we'll have the camper shower and the camper bathroom. And then my sister-in-law does live near me, so, or near us. So we will be able to utilize her shower and restroom sometimes, which I'm really hoping that that can happen often as well. But at the end of the day, the blessings are so abundant. I'm so thankful we were able to purchase a camper. I'm so thankful that this whole thing is happening, that it's going to be so nice. We're going to have more room in our bedroom. Right now, our bedroom is really tight. I mean, there's like a 12-inch walkway between the closet and the bed, because my husband, for those who've never seen photos of us together, is 6'5". So he can't, like, pretty much the only bed he fits in is a California king size bed. Otherwise, anything smaller than that and his feet hang off the end of the bed. So we have a humongous bed, and it takes up most of our room. We live in an older house, so the house just was built different. You know, it wasn't built with like a big fancy rooms. In time that my house was built, I think the logic was you only sleep in your bedroom. What need do you have to have a humongous bedroom? Which that is true. You really do only kind of sleep in your bedroom. So, but ours is so tight, it makes it just hard to put stuff away. Our closet's extremely small. And I definitely am going to be doing a video for you guys of like befores and afters. So you'll get to see what I'm talking about. All right, here's our finished card. I think it's beautiful. Those matte black dots just set it off perfectly. And I want to see you make a card using the new ink colors if you've already purchased them. And this color splash will be posted in my VIP group if you're one of my VIPs. And then you can make a card using these colors and be entered to win prizes. This is something new I've started recently. So if you want to get in on that, you do have to place an order with me to be part of my VIP customer group. Okay, there is my shop, shoploveandstampin.com, and you can click here to see either one of the videos. And I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. Thanks for hanging out with me for a little while. Bye-bye.